Yes.
everyone can just share what they've been going through,
Yeah.
how's things going on. We all know it's a difficult time. Nothing is happening probably, or sometimes you are getting some activities, but it's getting nowhere.
Yeah.
So please share what's happening with you, and we'll just talk for a few minutes. No one has anything to share?
Yeah, Vinesh. So, like I said, even last week I mentioned that I'm from the civil background, but I do see a lot of, postings happening and recruiters saying we are the clients are still recruiting and stuff like that. But then
that's good.
Once you apply, there's no response, and especially from recruiters, getting response is very poor unless you apply directly to the companies. At least they come back saying you're unsuccessful and stuff like that. But with recruiters, no response. So, you're left in the lurch. And more than that, it's like, I reply back saying, give me your feedback, what's wrong? But even that doesn't come through. So that's really disheartening.
Yeah. So do you message these recruiters on LinkedIn or?
Yes, I do a post to the companies, and then I message the recruiters also. Just putting it not too pushy or anything, being very formal initially.
Yeah.
And then saying, give me it's an opportunity. Because yes, just seeing a resume, you never know what is a person just by a piece of paper. Yeah. So it's so again, I'm like, what's the next step I can take? How do you get them to give you an opportunity?
Has the response from recruiters changed in any way since this shutdown has happened? Because I hear a lot of recruiters are becoming more active online right now, and there are chances that you might get more responses. Have you observed anything like that? Or
no, I haven't.
No?
I actually want to make a point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm an international student and I've come here and I've just completed my degree. And when I spoke to the recruiter, they said they wanted 1 year of Aussie experience. So they don't really take interest in the profiles. And I'm like, it's frustrating when you have everything and they just don't give you a call.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to get over that hurdle. Is like,
I think it's a similar experience, really. Like they've just said, you apply, but you have no feedback at all or no response from the jobs. And it's a bit frustrating. I don't think there's been any change in patterns as well, to be honest, from when the lockdown has happened. So it's still the same thing. There's still jobs popping up. So it's either you get no response or you get an email saying the job has been pulled until further notice.
Okay, so to touch on a few points over here, there is definitely a difference in the situation that we are going through right now. So how the market response, how recruiter response will be definitely different from how it was. But let me talk about pre-shutdown time, as in how to effectively, how to effectively. So this not getting a response is unfortunately, how do I say? It's unfortunately part of the package. It is part of it, unfortunately. Yes, we can blame the recruiters. Yes, we can blame the industry, but there's nothing much we can do about it. As job seekers, we have to accept it as a fact and move on. We have to try to get feedback. Yes, message them, call them, do something. Try your best. Maybe 2 or 3 times message them, but if you don't get it, your time is not worth it, right? I mean, it's not worth wasting your time on them. But just you have to understand that fact and accept it. The other thing, so that kind of actually helps you get rid of your frustration, which is the worst thing in job search. I'd say, silence, not automated rejection, not getting feedback. All these are actually the biggest evils in job search. The job search process in itself might not be as bad as these things. So these accepting for a fact that hey, these things will happen will kind of help you calm down. That's step number one. Step number two, I always share this. A recruiter from Hayes, I mean, as in, I'm trying to explain why you don't get responses or why you don't get messages. I always explain this. A recruiter from Hayes explained this beautifully to me. So if he puts a job ad on Seek or LinkedIn Jobs or any such platform, he might get like 200 jobs. I'm just putting a fictional number, 200 applications overnight, right? Now, it's important that you think in a recruiter's shoes. So 200 applications, you might think that's great. Hey, this person has a lot of opportunity, many applications, which is good, right? But take a look at the recruiter's perspective. That's actually bad. This means he has to go through those applications. He has to call them. He has to find the right person, which is actually bad for him, right? So what he'll do is he'll quickly set a few filters on Seek or LinkedIn or whatever it is, put a few check marks, and that list will be immediately filtered into, say, maybe 50, right? So within a few clicks, the 200 has come down to 50. But the key part over here is even before he calls up anyone in the list of his 50, he will have another list of 20, So this might happen actually even before the job goes online, right? So he'll have a list of 20 who he has, who has been referred to him before, who he has had a chat with him, meetup, networking event somewhere, before. So he'll always pick the phone, call those 20 first, then come to this 50, and then come to this 200 roles. So when you're applying online, you're always getting into the 200 pile, and you have to be extremely lucky to get shortlisted and to get a call, right? So that's where networking or job searching proactively helps. So the way I see it, job searching can be done in a reactive way and a proactive way. Reactive is when you apply online, and then or job ad comes online, and then you start to ask. Say you try to find someone in that company, you try to connect to them, you try to ask for him. But proactive job search is when you're already connected with them. You find people in your domain, you connect with them already, you establish a relationship with them already. The next time you see a job ad, you already have a connection to go to them and talk to them, right? So that proactive job search is very effective. Reactive job search is kind of it doesn't gel with the human nature, as in you go to people only when you that's not a great impression to give, right? So I always say go proactive, make sure you have the connection in place, and sorry, my camera is waving, nothing much I can do about it. Hope my voice is clear at least. But that's about proactive judgment. So you make sure that you have things ready, you have everything ready, and when the opportunity arises, just go and grab it.
But how do you do a proactive job search?
So in this era of social media, say for example, I was talking to Naishat last week, and he said, go to LinkedIn, look for what. Just search for people in your domain. So, for example, I think Suchi said she's a civil engineer.
Yes.
Search for civil engineer on LinkedIn. I'm sure you'll get 100 different people. At least for a minimum, you'll get 100 people. Look at where they're working. You'll get 100 companies where you can target for a job. And that 100 companies will definitely have more than 10 employees. Right? So LinkedIn is a great place for you to network. I would have recommended meetups and physical networking as the best place, but that we can't do that right now. The next best thing is LinkedIn. And everyone is trying to be online. Everyone is trying to engage online. So this is probably a best time for you to build those networks.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have quite a few people. Yeah.
How do you suggest we approach companies for to get unpaid internships or something? How do you suggest?
So again, there are two aspects to it. You can directly send an email to HR or hiring manager looking for opportunities. Second thing, you can go through the networking way, right? So if you have built a relationship with a hiring manager, for example, you met them in a networking event or you had a random chat on LinkedIn, you can always ask them, do you have any? I'm looking for to get my foot into the market, and but all this should happen after you build a relationship, not at your first message, right? So you can casually ask them, if something comes up in a team, just let me know. I'm always up for an internship just so that I can get my foot, not for a job sake, not for you, but
No, but
rather
I just
than
want the experience. Yeah.
sorry.
I just want the experience. I don't want the like Aussie experience
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Just say, for you to get experience, can I, come and see what's happening? Can I, and it's unfair. Of course, people like to have extra hands in their work, right? But
yeah,
make sure that you approach the right people. Not all companies
yeah,
encourage internships. So you have to know if they are encouraging internships. Again, the best way to know it is to ask people around, right? 100 companies, ask for people, ask for help. Your friends might have already done internships, so you have an idea of which companies give you internships.
okay.
So you're saying we
Right?
have to, send them a mail, but then not directly asking. It's only after we build the network.
That would be an ideal way to job search. So on LinkedIn or on Meetup, first have a chat, have a casual introduction, and then build that relationship slowly. Maybe 2 or 3 conversations down the lane. That's when you ask for help.
Okay, thank you.
So, by the way we do this, for people who have already been in my meetup, they know I have an Excel sheet. Sorry, not an Excel sheet. I have a Google form in my meetup link, but unfortunately, I did not get any questions over there. So I usually pick 2 to 3 questions and answer to that questions right now. I don't unfortunately have any questions. I recommend you to, if you're joining next time, please enter your questions there so that I can be prepared with an answer. I can pick up 3 questions and then talk about it.
Yes,
Instead, I have an activity for you today. So does everyone have a paper and a pen or a pencil with them?
Yeah.
If that's not too hard to ask. I'll give you a few minutes to grab one if you don't have. So this, I'm trying to give you clarity on what you have to focus on during this time period. There is stuff you can do, there is stuff you can't help. So I'm trying to give you a focus on what you can do at right now. So does everyone have a paper and a pen or a pencil or anything? Or you can do this on laptop if you have or whatever. Okay. So make 2 columns. In the first column, you can put a headline as things in control.
Okay.
Now list down 5 to 6 items which is in your control at the moment. It could be that you definitely have lunch today, or you have a workshop next week which you have something to prepare, or you're working on some personal project, or you have taken up some online course which you're trying to complete, or you're taking some online certification, or it is a fact that you will go to sleep today evening. You will, so stuff that is in your control, or if you're trying to upskill on if you're trying to upgrade your cooking skills, so that's in your control too. Or so list 5 to 6 items that you think is in your control at the moment.
Stay positive is the first thing.
That's not in your control. So it's about next week. You can target next 2 to 3 weeks. So next 2 to 3 weeks, what are the things in your control that you can act upon? Just write it down. If interested, I think there is a way to share. You can probably take a photo and share it. I don't know if that works. I can't see an option to upload. Do any of you see an option to upload some documents? No? No? Okay. So let's just go through this activity. And if you are all interested, you can all email me. You can take a photo of it and email it to me after this event. And let's have a discussion around it. But that we can do after that. But right now, just write it down. And I'd like to hear a few of them.
Okay. The
Go for
first
it.
thing, the first thing that I can control is that I am joining this one data analytics volunteering program, and it starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock online. So I'm going to work on that. So that's the first
5
thing
a.m.
that I can control. Yeah.
Is it 5 a.m. or 5 p.m.?
It's 5 p.m. 5 to
Okay.
6 is 1 hour.
I thought you have to wake up tomorrow morning.
No,
Okay,
no,
that's good.
it's 5 p.m.
That's an excellent thing. You have control and you're looking forward to it. Okay, someone else.
Uh,
Upskilling, taking up a LinkedIn
Upskilling.
course.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you be specific? As in, don't go vague as an upskilling.
Okay.
Say on LinkedIn learning this course by this time.
Oh.
Just
LinkedIn.
trying to get more clarity on it.
Okay, it's a construction estimation course, and I sit down to it by 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Excellent. Do you have?
Yeah,
Can I have more?
I'm of the same. I've got like a Selenium Java course to complete as well, so I've started it already. So it's just working, dedicating more
Brilliant.
hours to complete that. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, person. You have more?
I have an Udemy course to start for business analyst and Scrum Master. So I have shortlisted the courses and I've not been doing it for quite a while. So I'll start it on Monday, and we'll target
Excellent.
doing it alternate days, maybe one course in 2 days types.
Brilliant. Anything else? Anything interesting apart from upskilling?
There's been an article on my mind that I've been wanting to write on Medium. I've been wanting to write and publish an
Brilliant.
article.
That's
So,
excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I've been
excellent.
procrastinating it, so I think it's about time.
Now, just go for it. Just go for it. If you think no one will read it, send it to us. There are, I think,
Yeah, I
15
was
people,
just about to say
or
that.
maybe 12 people. Send it to us. We'll definitely read it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we would love to read it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what else?
there's one more thing that I would like. Okay, yeah, you go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I have a digital marketing internship in a sports center. So currently, as we are in a business recession and they have closed it, and since the indoor sports center has to be closed, so I've been working on posts to engage, social media posts to engage people during this time. So yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah. Anything interesting?
I'm thinking of starting of my project idea that I was thinking back when I was in India, a startup idea that
Excellent.
we
This
just explore
is
that these.
absolutely the right time. Yeah. So let me give examples of what I know what I'm going to do next week. So, for example, this online catch-up that I'm doing, I'll probably do it every Tuesdays and Saturdays. So I know I have to be set up for this Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Right. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Then I have another. So my monthly. So most of you that who knows me, I do a monthly meetup as well. So it used to be a physical networking event. So I've decided to make it an online event, and I have that coming on April 7th. So these are the two things that I'm looking forward to at the moment. And of course, I'm working from home. I have work to do, and I have things to focus on myself. I have stuff to do. So these are the stuff that I'm looking forward to. Right. So that was just an example. Now, on the second column, write down things that are not in your control right now. Could be that you falling sick, maybe. Could be that you getting a job, or you getting a job by this time. It could be when can you get out of your home or do stuff in the normal way, and it could be the fact that you're not getting a response from someone, or you're applying and you're not hearing back anything. If you have something, you can share already.
Yeah, from my side, Srikanth here. Getting the job at the
Yeah,
earliest
that's
possible
not in your
time.
control at all.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is not in our control. And
yeah,
once I get the job, I need to look for a house and then bring my family here,
yeah. So that's all. That's like a
which
stack of
is
uncertainty.
yeah.
Right. So
Shrikant, sailing in the same boat. Whatever I had in my mind, you just spoke. That's it.
That's true. Could have said.
yeah.
And one more point which I wanted to discuss, which is in not in control list, is the job search, and we are getting more rejections from the recruiters. No
Yeah.
answers,
That's the
Again,
big
not in
biggest.
your
rejections.
control. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 of them I wrote down.
Yeah. Excellent. Anything else
For me,
which is
yeah,
not in line with this?
for me, it's job search, and starting sports,
Okay, starting sports again. Uncertain at
and
this time. You
traveling.
never know.
Traveling.
Yeah. Again, not in your control. Yeah.
Yep.
What else?
Something which I wanted to touch on in the control thing. I always wanted to get into share markets and share markets and all those things, shares and all that.
Okay.
So we started with that, and even
Yeah.
did a subscription to one of those companies. And
that's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're acting on something that you have control, but that can go out of your control anytime. Right. Good.
Yeah.
That's good and bad.
middle ground there.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to share something?
I think we're all sailing in the same boat of getting feedback from recruiters.
Same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of us.
Okay. So then let's move on. So the point I'm trying to make here is the right column, or whichever side you have the things you can't control column, you're probably wasting 90% of time on that. And how does it help? Can anyone tell me how does that help at all?
By working on the things which are in our control.
Yeah, so you have to put 90% of your effort and 90% of your energy. By energy, I mean physical and mental energy on things you can control, not on things you can't control. Because whatever you do, you can't control things that are not in your control, right? Yes. This is applicable during this period, or even if everything was normal, the rejections and not getting responses, again, not in your control, but unfortunately, we spend 90% of energy on that. We spend a lot of time getting frustrated on that, thinking about that, playing it over and over in our mind, or dreaming that what if that person had responded, or what if I had got that job and stuff like that. Not saying it's not in your control, unfortunately, but if you write it down in 2 columns, this is what I can do for the next 1 to 2 weeks, and this is what I can't help in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Whenever you start getting frustrated, look at the column that you can control and work on it. Spend time on doing that, right? So this, there's tons of ways to do this. Tons of, someone said, staying positive is one of the biggest, one of the things that you'd like to do. But it's really hard to stay positive during these times. You have to intentionally do something to stay positive. And what are you doing to stay positive, right? It could be hundreds of things. Binging on Netflix or watching your favorite movie is not staying positive. I would say that yes, you should do it, but overdoing it is bad. It's really bad. It kind of shuts down your brain, and your brain is not being productive during that time, right?
Yeah.
So stuff that can bring positivity into you are, if you're into meditation, go for that. If you're into mindfulness, go for that. There are tons of apps that are going free right now. Take someone's help. There are people giving free online courses right now. If you're into fitness, right now probably you can't do much, but you can do yoga if you want to. You can do light stretches. You can do some exercises at home. You can go for a walk. I went for a walk yesterday, and there was absolutely no one at all in this world, right? So you can still go for a walk. You can do stuff like that. So you have to take care of your mental and physical energy in a right way to get this thing done. And the reason I'm saying that you have to focus on this is I'll just touch on this topic. So this study is based on Tony Robbins. I'm not sure if you know him. He's a life coach. So he says there are 6 core human values or human needs, I would say. One is certainty. Second is uncertainty. So there should always be a balance between certainty and uncertainty. What I mean here is, if you are binging on Netflix, that's actually adding certainty to you, because you know you don't have to do anything for the next 1 hour, right? But balancing it with uncertainty. So you should always have a balance between certainty and uncertainty. You should know what you're doing, and you should also have a bit of uncertainty. If you know whatever is going to happen, you'll soon be bored in your life. So you should have a bit of uncertainty. Right now, in these times, we have high dose of uncertainty, but less of certainty. That's why you are probably binging on Netflix, watching your favorite movie, trying to balance uncertainty. The next 2 things are significance, which we are at 0 at the moment. As job seekers, our significance is already going down, and the fact that we are not going out, no one is appreciating us, no one is saying, hey, you're doing a good job. That brings significance to 0. Next one is love or connection. Again, you're probably confined to your family right now. You're not getting connected to anyone. Yes, you can do it online, but are you doing it, right? So that's another thing. Another 2 things are growth and contribution. Growth, yes, you can control. Contribution, like I think Kriti mentioned that she's planning to write an article. So that is contribution for you. So when you do that, you'll feel actually really good, right? So I just wrapped down these topics. So it's important that you balance these things. I know it might not make actual sense right now. You make sure you invest a bit of time on that, think through what I just said, and it will slowly make sense. So my point today is focus on what you can control. Look at what you can't control and say to yourself that, hey, you can't control that, forget about it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah? What was the name of the author again, Vinesh? What was the name of the...
Tony Robbins. And Anthony Robbins, just Google him. He's a world famous life coach. You'll get tons of useful information like this from him.
That's Tony Robbins, yeah?
Tony Robbins, yeah. Okay.
There's one more guy which I have seen, Vinesh, just to add. There's this guy called Suyash, if anyone has seen. So he talks about...
what is his name? Sorry?
Suyash, Suyash. Suyash. Go in the YouTubes. He posts videos every week or something. It's been ages since I myself have been following it. But I hardly watched around half a dozen videos at the max. But a few things that he said, actually, when I implemented it, made sense. So that would be something
many
that
people
really
like that.
relevant, in this scenario, especially for people who are bound by uncertainties and stuff.
Absolutely. So I can recommend a few people if you are interested. One is Simon Sinek. He has a TED Talk. Watch it. It's really good. Another guy, probably one of my favorite, is Brendan Burchard. He's also high on all these high performance habits. And then comes Anthony Robbins. I'm sure there are tons of other people, but these are the 3 people that I follow right now. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I mean, make sure that you share your questions next time so that I can respond to the questions rather than having a random conversation out here. So I thought I'll put out this activity. I hope it's of use. How do you want to take this forward? Do you want to share this among the 12, 13 people who are here and just brainstorm on what's happening, or read each other's in control, out of control, and get a feel of, hey, you're also in the same picture, and try to help each other. So if you would like to do that, I can probably send a message. So I'll update the participants list on Meetup on this event, and I'll reply to that participant list. So hopefully whoever is online over here, I can get connected. I'll make sure that you are there in the participant list. If you are not there in the participant list, please message me. I'll update it probably in another 2 to 3 hours, and I'll send an email by end of today to all of who I think have participated in this meetup. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Yep. And let's take it out
Yes,
from there.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
I'll do this event again probably next Tuesday. Again, if you have questions, please ask over there. Anything else you'd like to chat for a couple of minutes, maybe?
Can I?
Just
Yeah,
Yep.
you go ahead.
Go ahead.
just a quick question around
Yep.
CV. So I'm on my fourth iteration of CV writing now. So someone told me that your CV shouldn't be anything longer than 6 pages, but someone else said it shouldn't be anything longer than 4 pages. So what's your view on that? What's the length of the CV? Would you say?
What's your experience? How many years of experience do you have?
I have over 15 years.
More than 15 years. So for you, I think probably it's safe to have maximum of 4 pages.
Four pages, you say?
4 pages.
Right.
6 pages is just too long. It's
Right.
always think of a recruiter's perspective. What is that person looking for? So if you're sharing what you are in 6 pages, that person should probably take at least 10 to 15 minutes reading through your resume. And the stats that we're seeing right now says that a resume takes less than 10 seconds before they reject your resume. So 6 pages is just too long for me. Ideal page length is I always recommend 3 pages, but if you have more experience, you can go up to 4 pages, especially because your audience might be different. You might be applying directly to HR executives or senior professionals rather than recruiters. So in that way, you can add another page, but yeah, not more than 4 pages. Again, if you're into a different profile, like I hear in HR academics, as in if you're taking a PhD and if you're going into academics, then I think your resume should be at least 10 pages. That's what I hear. So, but in general, for professionals, no, it shouldn't be too long.
Okay, thank you.
Vinesh, I would just like to add that I myself being in the I had been in the panel of recruiters in my earlier company. So basically, as an interviewer, I lose interest after it goes to 2.5, 3 pages because it's very old, especially for 15 years. So that's one thing. Second thing is, as on today, your focus should be on the last 5 years of what you have done. As I feel, because what you would have done 15 years back might not be very relevant right now.
Absolutely. So try to have only relevant information. If you think you have irrelevant experience, make it short, or if you want to leave it, you can leave it. Just put a one-liner saying, "Hey, you did this role." That's it.
Can I ask a question?
All right. Yeah. Sure.
The thing was, I'm from India and I've got experience in India. Should I focus on that in my resume or don't focus on that in my resume? Because I got just like 4 month experience in Australia. So I don't know.
If you have skills, no matter where in the world, if you have skills, you have to put it in everything.
I have a question.
Yep.
Yeah, Vinesh, I had to ask. So I've been active on LinkedIn, sending messages to recruiters to connect. And once they're connected, I've sent a polite message. Hope you're doing well during these uncertain times and everything. And whenever you get a chance, if you're free, let's catch up over a call. And I was looking for new opportunities, something like that. But they accept the requests, but they haven't been getting back to me. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to construct this message better? What can I write? Because everybody on their LinkedIn pages, they're posting that we feel free to reach out. People if you need help. And then when we're reaching out, they're not getting back. So it's confusing. Like, what do I do?
Possibly there could be a reason of n number of requests to them. Even I am also facing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if I could show you my LinkedIn inbox, you could get a slight idea of what's happening. It all depends on the context you give in the message, right? So, let me give you an example. This is absolutely like a cold call or a cold message. I mean, if you're in sales, you know what that is. For example, say you said you're from India, right? From India, daily you'd probably get how many calls asking for personal loans? You'll get tons of calls, right? What do you do about it? 90% of the time you just cut the call. 10% you maybe say hello and then just cut it off. Sometimes you act rude. So you are on the other side right at the moment. You are the person making call right now, right? So unless you have a context around it, or so by context I mean, say someone referred you, it will be more effective. Or that message looks really appealing. And sales is an art. You can't learn it in just like that, right? So if you have a really strong message, they will respond, right? But otherwise, usually there are hundreds of messages. Most messages, unfortunately, I say, hi, how are you? I'm looking for a job. Can you help me? That's what my inbox looks like. I have hundreds of messages, so it's hard for me to get. I actually now take 2 to 3 days to get back to everyone, right? That's the situation I'm in. So if I'm like that, I always say I'm a nobody. If I'm like that, I can't imagine what a recruiter's inbox or an email would look like. So that's where your message is getting lost. Now, the best way to get over it, create that context, right? So there are multiple ways to do it. One, referrals is a good way to do it. If you can get someone to refer you to that recruiter, they will respond to your message. Second thing is follow that recruiter, kind of stalk him or stalk that person, right? If they make a post on LinkedIn, try to engage in a conversation on that post. Not just recruiters, anyone. So, for example, me, I put a post on, say, on resume. I just share some resume tip on LinkedIn. So instead of just saying, hey, awesome tip, or agreed, thanks for sharing this, try to engage on a conversation with me. Ask some insightful questions, not a one-liner question, 2 to 3 lines questions. I for sure will reply to that question, right? And then you can follow up on the question. So repeat this for probably a few posts, and from then on, I know, hey, this person is this person, and this person is really curious to get in touch with me. And then if you message me, say, had a wonderful discussion over the last few weeks, I'd like to talk more about this or do something. I definitely welcome that message. Again, this is not an easy process. This is not a quick process. This is not a quick fix. This is a slow process, but it's a very effective process. So if you're looking for shortcuts, there are no shortcuts in job search unless you are really, really lucky. But otherwise, you don't have any shortcuts. It is a slow process. It is a time-consuming process. Unfortunately, we waste our energy doing the wrong things and fret over it. Instead, you might not see much result, but going through this slow process will make you feel better and will get you better results down a month or a couple of months at least.
Inish, can I ask you
Hope that
something?
answers it. Yep. If it is quick, yes.
Yeah, it's just that, see, now, like we are all saying that we're trying to connect with recruiters, sending them personal messages. Yep. What's your take on sending them video messages, talking a little bit about yourself? How effective is that?
I'm not a fan of it yet.
Okay.
I've seen people sending me voice messages, and when at work, it's hard to listen to voice messages. Because if it's text, I can just read it. Mm-hmm. If it's voice message, I should either grab my headphones or be in a silent place where I can hear it, right? So I don't think we are there yet, especially video messages. Video calls, yes, it's catching up right now, but you have to take an appointment for that earlier. Don't blindly do a video call.
Okay.
All right. Thanks to all of you for being part of this conversation. As we said, the objective of this event is to make sure that we are in touch, to make sure that we are not losing it, to make sure that all of us are, as I said, in the 6 human core needs, contribution, that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to contribute, and I'm trying to keep that connection alive. So it's important for all of us to get in line and do something. If you're planning to write an article, do it. If you are an expert in something, and if you'd like to do an online course, which is very easy these days, just put a few posts and you can do that, or you can make a video on YouTube, or whatever it is, right? Engage yourself, make your brain work rather than just going in consume mode, and if nothing, you will feel better about it rather than getting rid about the situation right now.
Vinesh, I just have a quick suggestion.
Yep.
The mix of people that we have over here, I'm sure it's beyond certain, certain jobs. Maybe it might be an accounting, or someone might be
Yep.
from the IT sector, or someone might be from the management or whatever. So, in case
Yep.
if you said that you'll be forming a group and kind of posting about this, does it make sense if there are any openings that you come across, or any of those experience days comes across, and post it over here so that it could be useful for us to connect and kind of
See,
have more?
yeah. So the meetup group, as in the meetup event, wherever you registered, go ahead and use that as a conversation page. You can add comments there. You can send anything or do any activities over there. I'm not creating a group as such because from what I've seen, people are excited to join the group, but after that they don't do anything about it. I have another group for my monthly meetup, and it's kind of dead right now. No one takes much interest in it. So as I'm doing this every week, it's hard for me to maintain the group, and it's hard for everyone to be engaged in that. That's why I do this as a how do I keep it? No strings attached thing, right? You come and join, talk, leave.
Right.
If you are interested in talking more, keep coming back, and we'll build that relationship together, right?
Yeah.
But yes, by all means, feel free to
Just
comment
about
in
sharing
meetup,
any
meetup
opportunities so
event.
that you don't miss out, kind of stuff. So, any suggestion? I mean, okay, so I thought of a group. So, if you have any suggestions so that it could help us, the job seekers, do you feel so?
There are tons of Facebook groups. There are tons of WhatsApp groups. I don't usually keep track of it, but if I can get hold of, I think there's okay, I'll probably share a couple of Facebook groups that I know of. I don't follow it per se, but they do share. Again, for me, the job opportunities they share are something that are already online, mostly 90% of the time. And those are things that you can already find online. But if that helps, definitely I'll share it on. I'll reply while replying to the email. I know at least one such Facebook group. I'll share that as well.
So just
But
a quick
otherwise, just search on Facebook. Just search on Facebook. You will find many such groups.
On LinkedIn, if recruiters I'm connected to do post jobs that are probably not applicable to me, but they're jobs within IT, what I usually do is just like it so anyone in my connection can see the jobs they're posting and possibly apply for that. So I think that's probably the thing to do as well.
Yeah. So personally, I think even though these groups and WhatsApp groups and Facebook messages are temporarily useful, mostly they are spam and irrelevant for you, and you lose interest in it, and you tend to get less engaged, right? So that's why I don't like it much.
Okay.
But if it is useful for you, go ahead and join.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. I think we have extended almost 50 minutes for this. I'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinesh.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Vinesh.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Vinesh.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Vinesh.